Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with the new drops and rises for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. I believe this is the first tier change, I want to say. I know this is the January tier change, but I believe it's the first one, which takes into account October, November, December, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But we have a tier change for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and once again, UU has been drastically changed, so this will be a lot of fun to talk about, and I'll be giving my opinion on this. You guys feel free to leave yours down below. Big shout out to Small, of course, for posting the screenshot. Leaves it nice and organized and makes it easy for me. And yeah, so should be a ton of fun using these mons. Also expect some ammo pop to the top later today. We're actually use some of these mons in the UU tier, and we'll be talking about it. So we're gonna be starting from the drops over here, and then we'll be making our way to here. So first off, Charizard Y, Mega Charizard Y dropped from OU to UU, right? But because it was already quick banned before, it was BL. Same thing with Manaphy, same thing with Dragonite. They were all banned before in UU, so they're all BL right now. But Zard Y dropped. I think the biggest thing is honestly Toxapex. I want to just say it's honestly Toxapex. The combination of Toxapex plus T-Tar is just too much for Zard Y. Zard cannot break through Pex at all, especially with the fact that Dugtrio Arena Trap has been gone for several months now. That's probably the biggest factor. Not only that, you're always pressured defog to bring it in, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the big thing is there's that one Pokemon in OU that pretty much invalidates this. I would also go as far to say Mantine also makes Zard Y a lot yet less useful, but not really though at the same time. But mainly Toxapex really. So that really lowered the Charizard Y usage. Other Pokemon, even though Zygarde doesn't have the best usage right now, Zygarde, more offensive teams, even Pokemon like Kartana, they break through with +2, Bloom Doom, +2 with Rocks Up, or in Grass Terrain. And again, like, just because most teams consist of that Pokemon, this Mon is really falling off, I feel like. Manaphy's another Mon that dropped. I think, again, it has to do with the compositions of teams running around. You see a lot of Assault Vest, Bulu, Kartana teams, teams with Coco, which just outright outspeed. Because even when you see fatter teams, right, with Pex, Celesteela, which Manaphy, in theory, should be able to break through, they'll be coupled with Pokemon like Mega Latios, Kartana, Bulu, so Manaphy just can't really do that. I'm obviously biased towards this Pokemon, right? I love this Pokemon. I'm really biased towards it, but its inability to break through teams, especially with Kartana running around, and plus Bulu running around, Assault Vest Bulu, makes Manaphy a lot harder to do its job. It's not like the gen before where we didn't have these super fast we did have super fast mons, but we didn't have these super fast mons constantly running around like Tapu Koko, for example, or even Gren, making Manaphy not even Dark Pulse switching, but basically Haze Toxapex, Koko being around, Bulu Kartana cores, as well as, I mean, like, Manaphy at best will get maybe 1 or 2 kills. I don't know, when I use this thing, it did a lot of work, but cores like that running around. And then Dragonite, I think that has to do with the usage of 54% Landers. I think it's 54% Landers on teams. It could be 53, 52, but it's above 50% that Landers is on every single team. So when you have a setup sweeper, there was a little bit of hype among Supersonic Sky Strike. Dragonite back when Tapu Fini was a lot more common. You could use like Dragon Dance, Fly, Supersonic Sky Strike, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, or Fire Punch. Again, it's like a one-time nuke and it doesn't do anything. With defensive Lando or Lando on 50% of teams, really hinders this thing's usage. Pex just toxics it. Celesteela walls it for days. Eventually just fell down in usage. That's it. You would think that multi-scale would make it a lot better though. But Kingdra fell down from OU to UU. So Kingdra is now in the UU tier. This has to do with Bulu Pex. Assault Vest Bulu plus Pex being on teams. A lot of rain compositions right now. Kingdra doesn't break through Pokemon like it used to. It really doesn't. It doesn't break through Pex. It doesn't break through Ferrothorn. And there's better rain abusers like Swampert. Arguably, you could argue that Swampert is a better rain abuser just because the auto rain, the ground type, the immunity, the ability to switch up moves is a big thing, but still hit hard. So Kingdra ended up falling off on rain teams, especially because rain doesn't really need Kingdra. Rain only needs Swampert, Pelipper, a Tapu of sorts, whether it be Lele, Koko, even Bulu can work, though Bulu is kind of contradictory to Swampert because it weakens Earthquake. And then Halucha And then from there, it can even run Lando if it wants to, or whatever. But rain compositions are way different than they were in the previous gen. In the previous gen, you needed 1 or 2 or 3 rain abusers. Kingdra was definitely a staple on it, but right now, Kingdra just isn't. And its inability to break through Pokemon like AV Bulu, to spam Draco Meteor, to even just Hydro Pump through, it fell off. Stack Attack, another mon that fell down from OU to UU. This is really, really fun for the UU tier, especially because it Trick Rooms so easily versus Choice Lock Scizors, Aerodactyls that lack EQ, Calm Mind Lotties even. It could definitely take a +1 Devastating Drake. So a Trick Room variant would be a lot of fun in the UU tier. Being able to Gyro Ball, Constant to Crush, breaks through Gliscor using that Lonely Nature, and you have Earthquake / Superpower for Cobalion. It's a lot of fun. Really excited to be using this in the UU tier. It was OU just because that's where it started, right? It started in the OU tier, and because it literally could not drop until then. But I think Stack Attack is really tough to fit on teams too. I compared it to earlier on in the generation to Offensive Trick Room Bronzong, right? Where in DPP, you could just dump Offensive Trick Room Bronzong on your squad and be able to, and pretty much just be able to have that as a sweeper late game. But one of the big things that Bronzong obviously has over Stack Attack is Levitate. So that immunity to ground type obviously helped Bronzong a lot. But in this case, Stack Attacker does a Beast Boost, which just help it boost through when it actually, does manage to Trick Room up. And Choice Band Gyro Ball is ridiculously hard to switch into. It doesn't matter if you're Landorus. Defensive Landorus is 2-hit KO'd easily. Scarf Landorus dies. But again, the fact that Landorus is on every team, defensive Landorus, Celesteela, Pex, and they don't even wall it, but you just don't have enough turns to use this mon. It's really hard to say I want to use this mon on my team over a steel type like Scizor, which can bring utility in U-turn, can defog, even though I wouldn't use defog Scizor right now. I'm not a big fan of that right now. But especially its inability to break through Kartana as well, which is high in usage. So it fell off. And like I said, I feel like it's really tough to put on a team. Even when I did a showcase of it, and even ever since then, like, it's really tough to fit this Pokemon on a team. Unless you just put on like top 5 usage mons plus Stack Attack. So Alolan Marowak, but I'm really excited for how it does in UU. As for Kingdra, I'm really excited for Rain. So Rain Dance teams definitely appreciate Kingdra. Previously they had Swampert in the tier, right? A while back we had Mega Swampert in the UU tier, and that mon just made Rain actually, super solid because you had the Abuser. In fact, one of the combinations, and we'll go down to it because you have Alolan Ninetales right there, but I could see Aurora Veil plus Rain making a little comeback. Obviously, it doesn't have Swampert to just straight up abuse it and punch through and also be that ground type at the same time, but Kingdra is relatively bulky. So, anyway, Alolan Marowak fell down from OU to UU. The only usage Alolan Marowak had after, Pheromosa's ban and all those Pokemon going away was pretty much on Trick Room. That's the only time you really saw Alolan Marowak in the OU tier. And even then, it didn't even run like Lightning Rod for Coco. It just ran Rock Hand with Flare Blitz, Shadow Bone, Boomerang, SD, Sub, all the sets. So I guess in the past few months or so, Trick Room kind of wasn't used as much because the only playstyle you would see Alolan Marowak was Trick Room. Maybe in the occasional team here or there, but they even it doesn't wall Coco, man. Dazzling Twinkle Tackle Coco does about 50% to it. You couple in rocks. Kartana has knockoff now. Even Zapdos wears it down with Heat Wave, and then you have Landorus coming in, Rocky Helmet Chip unless you Shadow Bone. But this Pokemon in UU is really interesting because right now we have Stack Attacka and Marowak in UU, right? And the only mon we're missing from UU from Trick Room in OU is actually Magearna. So I believe that's almost every single mon because you can use Uxie, you can use Crawdon down here, you can use Cresselia down here. Now you can use Alolan Marowak. So I'll definitely think a rise in Trick Room, especially because we have 2 great abusers in Stack Attacka and Alolan Marowak in the tier. Will definitely happen. Marowak will also probably cause Scizor to run knockoff instead of quick attack on SD variants. I know in the team that I use later today, I ran knockoff just because of Marowak Alolan form is in the tier. But yeah, I could definitely see Trick Room rising up, or even Aurora Veil plus Marowak would be. It sounds really difficult to KO because decent resistances, immunities, and whatnot. Has 3 immunities if you have Lightning Rod, fighting normal, and of course electric. So this is gonna be fun, just tearing through with Alolan Marowak. Next up, we have Lycanroc Dust that moved down from OU to UU. That was released, and same thing. It just stayed in the tier because that's when it was released. But it moved down in UU. Another front mon that I think can abuse the Aurora Veil really well. As you guys see, Alolan Ninetales fell down. But another front mon that I think can abuse the Aurora Veil very well, especially because it has Tough Claws boosted as Cellurock. I think that's pretty big because one of the fastest mons in the tier, Mega Aerodactyl, Revenge Kill by Cellurock. Alati under... if you have under Veil and a little bit of chip damage on Lottie, Cellurock can deal with that. And obviously you have Stone Edge and your Splintered Z-move as well, which is incredibly hard. And on top of that, you have Drill Run. So that type combination is really good. And even under Aurora Veil, Scissors Bullet Punch will knock you. And then you have even moves like Fire Fang, Thunder Fang even. I don't think you need Thunder Fang at any given point. But Fire Fang, things like that. Also a really solid setup. A Stealth Rocker with Endeavor, so a good anti-lead with Taunt as well. So definitely interested to see if this thing actually is ran on those Aurora Veil teams as well. I feel like it definitely could. And with Tough Claws, hits pretty hard. So I definitely think I can see that. I can see something with like Ninetales, Lycanroc, Scizor, maybe even your own Magneton to trap it. And then, or even Lycanroc as your Stealth Rocker. I feel like Swampert is too slow pace for Aurora Veil. I think it just wastes turns. On the team I use, and you guys will see it at 2 p.m. On the team I use not Alolan, but Mega Aerodactyl as a Stealth Rocker. But excited. So Ninetales is finally back in the UU tier. The last time Ninetales was in the UU tier was when Hawlucha was also UU, and at that point also Xurkitree was in the tier. So it was Aurora Veil plus Tail Glow Xurkitree plus SD Scizor plus SD Power Herb Hawlucha plus Crocodile plus Magneton. That was like a squad. That was just a straight up squad, right? Maybe you had Mega Aerodactyl as well. Or a Lottie at that point. So that was like a squad or Xurkitree. So Ninetales is back in the tier, and currently Aurora Veil is not banned in UU. It's banned in RU, it's banned in NU, but it's not banned in the UU tier. So we'll see, just because we have a whole lot of abusers right now. And that's the main thing that Ninetales is going to be doing. I don't see it being a setup sweeper. I don't see it doing anything like that. Again, I think it fell off because Aurora Veil really lost its... There was a point on the ladder where Aurora Veil was highly used, right? Was highly used, especially during like OLT times and whatnot, because it's great to ladder with. But Megatar being a lot better, and I guess Sun as well. But even then, Zard Y now dropped down. That's interesting. I just think its usage fell off as like offense when it comes to Aurora Veil. I still think it's good too. I still think Aurora Veil is super good in OU, and I'll still continue to use it. But it ended up falling down. It's also a little bit harder to set up Veil too in OU, I feel right now. Tapu Koko Z Wild Charges you, Lele, Psychics. I don't know. And then you have to run the 50-50s with like running Hail when they switch into Tyranitar. And then maybe even Hypnosising Heatran at given points. But in UU, it's going to be super solid. Super solid. You're going to click it, you're going to set up your Scizor, set up your Stack Attackers, set up your Carbalions, even your Gliscors, whatever you have. It's going to be super solid in the tier. Gengar fell down from OU to UU. Specs Gengar doesn't 2-hit KO spit up Toxapex. That's one big thing. I know I mentioned Toxapex a lot, but that's really interesting because this is the second time that Gengar's actually fallen down. Previously to Sun and Moon, Gengar was the only Pokemon that had stayed OU every single generation from the beginning to end, even had a form ban, and even had a form that was suspect tested in Ubers. So Gengar was the big thing. Besides that, it would be Starmie, but Starmie was also UU and XY UU. And then that was mainly because of Greninja running around as well, keeping it low. But Gengar ended up falling off right now. Specscar is still incredibly hard to switch into. I don't think Blacephalon does it better either. Just because Gengar can also, like as a ghost type, because Gengar can also absorb T-Spikes, which I think is pretty good. Pretty solid. And those Celesteela, Bulu, Kartana teams don't have like ghost resist. Their only ghost resist are occasionally Greninja, which doesn't appreciate Spec Shadow Ball. Easy to a KO off the rock. So this mon, the last time it was UU, really solid. But again, the same time it was UU was like UU with Keldeo, Bisharp. So it doesn't have to deal with Keldeo and Bisharp at all. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Obviously, Spinef Gliscor runs around, but even then, like, with Ninetales also being introduced to the tier, I'm not sure how much Gliscor is going to be used. As you guys see on the right, you do see that Rotom has risen from UU to OU, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, Gengar's gonna have a field day on this tier. Pursuit. Some of the main pursuiters right now, Crocodile, I'm going to say Assault Vest, Metagross. Metagross doesn't deal with it. Crocodile can. Maybe we'll see a little rise in Crocodile as a Pursuit Trapper, because speed time with Lottie is a huge thing. Aerodactyl, Mega Aerodactyl obviously runs Pursuit as well, can. So we'll definitely see a rise in that move on it. Not that it wasn't used before for Lotties as well, but excited to see Gengar in the tier. Always sucks to see like a hero like Gengar fall down, but its usage just tanked in OU. So Mandevas fell from U to RU. So for some of these things, I can't tell you why they fell, but I can tell you how solid they're going to be in the tier below. RU has Doublade, which is an amazing Pokemon. RU has Pokemon like Linoone, it has Hoopa. So Mandevas is going to be a really, really, really solid fit in the RU tier, I feel. Being able to check Doublade with Foul Play, being able to even check something like Chestnut getting up rocks with Brave Bird, can defog on Chestnut. Can taunt, foul play, Mega Steelix, eat the hits up, maybe toss a Rocky Helmet and Roost up. So really big, I think, gain for the RU tier. Getting Mandibuzz, especially with, again, just the Blade being down there and everywhere. Though, I mean, RU tier has stuff to deal with it. Salazzle still overpowers it. You have Pokemon like Deancey that can still deal with it. It'll be really interesting though. You can definitely see a Taunt Stall Breaker set, Taunt Knockoff, Foul Play, Roost. I think that's all you need. You can run Toxic if you want, but I don't think it's necessary. Just run it with T-Spikes or something else, a Toxic Chestnut. Maybe your own Doublade. I definitely think Doublade will run Toxic more as its fourth move. Not that it hasn't ran it before. Even the Doublade variants ran Toxic for Chestnut at a point in the RU tier. So, pretty big grab for the RU tier. Mega Blastoise. This Pokemon is impossible to switch into on UU, but it fell down to the RU tier. Honestly, I remember a point where RU was waiting for Blastoise, like regular Blastoise, and they were really grateful for it. But now RU has Mega Blastoise, an amazing, amazing spinner. This is an amazing spinner. And amazing, anything that sets up rocks, this thing beats. Dark Pulse deals with the Blade. It has Ice Beam for Chestnut, Aura Sphere, Scald for Registeel, Rapid Spin, obviously a great spinner, and it's going to be so fun to use in the tier. It's so incredibly hard to switch into. It has a decent speed tier that's faster than Pokemon like Hoopa and whatnot, so you can Dark Pulse through those. Deals with Xatu cores, fatter cores like that. Dark Pulse can go through Pokemon like Quillfish if they're even running that in that tier. Occasionally, I've run a Quillfish in that tier. And incredibly bulky, so a really, 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 really big drop for the RU tier. Super excited to see how that Pokemon ends up going in RU. I know my RU friends are definitely excited for that. I'm excited for that Pokemon. But next up, Heliolisk dropped down from RU to NU. A Pokemon that's faster than Delphox, that might not have to deal with Sneasel because Sneasel might be banned, that doesn't have to deal with Seismitoad because Seismitoad rose up from NU to UU, as we'll talk about later, and has good coverage. Surf, Grass Knot, Hyper Voice, Electric, faster than Xatu. Definitely a solid Pokemon for the tier. And has Surf for Steelix too. Oof, I already mentioned Surf, but this thing is going to be a great wall breaker in the tier, for sure. And it doesn't have to deal with Registeel, which is currently in RU. So this thing is going to be a great wall breaker in the tier. I want to compare it to Vanillix, and like, bear with me on this, okay? Bear with me as I compare it to Vanillix, the ice cream. The ice cream currently, like, the best switch-ins to the ice cream are Cryogonal, and then maybe your fire type, which doesn't appreciate coming in on the ice cream with rocks up, right? So, Heliolisk is like that, but at the same time, it has the coverage to deal with whatever wants to come in on normal or electric. So, I think that it's going to be a great mono tier. We'll probably see a little rise in Togen tomorrow as well. Might even see HP Ground. Heliolisk at points. Obviously, Whimsicott's still super solid in that tier as a special attacker, but Heliolisk is just a great, like, I'll pair those two together. Volt Switch. Smeargle fell down from RU to NU. I don't think it's going to do the best in the NU tier. Xatu's so common. Xatu's so good. Xatu is also pretty common in the RU tier. I'm surprised it actually didn't rise up to RU. Not going to lie. But everything getting defog this generation, I don't think Smeargle's going to... I think Smeargle's just going to keep falling down to PU. It can do anything, but with the fact that Xatu is like staple in the NU tier, don't think it's going to be that great. Venusaur fell down from RU to NU. A big thing about this is that the fact that NU actually has Drought Ban, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but NU does have Drought Ban. So, while all the Sun Abusers, you have Venusaur, Torkoal, and Heliolisk, they fell down to NU. All the Sunmons fell down this time. Venusaur, I think, is a great fit for the NU tier. A Pokemon that's faster than Emboar, right? That also threatens most variants of Xatu unless they're running max speed. Can 2-KO with Sludge Bomb. Deals with the grass types in the tier. Deals with the ground types in the tier. Can deal with the grass types as well because Sludge Bomb, HP Fire. Might not even have to deal with Sneasel because Sneasel may be banned as we're, in the next week or two or really soon. I think it's a great offensive Pokemon for the tier and that it deals with all the fire types. Like Delphox doesn't appreciate coming in on Life Orb Sludge Bomb. Emboar gets 2-KO'd by Life Orb Sludge Bomb, and I think I'd definitely run max speed on Venusaur too. Not necessarily on a Sun team, but just an offensive Venusaur in general. So I think it's a big drop for the NU tier. And being able to pretty much beat most Spikers, can beat Vileplume 1v1 with Sludge Bomb. I think that's a big thing as well. It doesn't beat Pokemon like Type Null, but can even run knockoff for those. And it has access to Sleep Powder, has access to Swords Dance. Not sure how much Swords Dance will run. Maybe it will be. Who knows? SD knockoff deals with Xatu, Earthquake for Emboar, Power Whip. Who knows? But I think a Life Orb offensive one is a big fit for NU and a great grass type. Absorbs T-Spikes as well. Garbodor is still obviously a check, but also another solid check to Whimsicott that's lacking Psychic. So that's why I also think it's a really big drop for NU. And of course, you guys can give your opinions. I'm only talking based on my experience and what I've seen. That doesn't mean what I say is final, and that also doesn't mean what I say is the only thing or right at that point. But Turco dropped from RU to NU. Turco's going to drop again. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Drought is banned from the NU tier. And other than that, you're outclassed as a Stealth Rocker. You can't break through Xatu without your Sun. Shell Smasher. I'd rather use Tortonator. I'm not going to lie. I'd rather use Tortonator over Torkoal. Dugtrio fell. Though surprised Sun fell off in the RU tier. I think Sun is still super solid in RU. In my opinion, anyway. But that also might have to do with the rise of Como. Or Como getting better in that tier. And also, having Cress. Pokemon like that. But Como also rose up to UU, so we'll talk about that a little bit too. But Dugtrio fell from RU to NU, man. After Arena Trap, Dugtrio's just going to keep falling. It's strong. Still based on 100 attack this generation. It's really strong, or decently strong, especially with good ground stab. But no Arena Trap, just getting the switch out. It's going to fall again. It's going to fall. I mean, in RU, it couldn't deal with anything. Like, it doesn't trap Registeel. There was a time where Dugtrio was super common with Whimsicott in RU. U-turn out, trap Reggie. Reggie gone, trap Empoleon. But no, Doug is just going to keep falling. Spiritomb from NU to PU. I don't really have too many things to say about the NU to PU drops, but I do know that Auroraville was banned in NU, which also made Sandslash and Aurorus pretty much less used. As a Hail starter, and as a Pokemon that spans Blizzard, Vanillix is just so much better because it's so hard to switch into, and also has Freeze Dry Flash Cannon. I mean, Aurorus has Freeze Dry as well. Claydol isn't the best spinner in NU, especially with Sneasel up there, though Sneasel might be banned. Sandslash doesn't really have a place on Hail. Hail isn't super solid, especially with Pokemon like Seismitoad in the tier. That we're in the tier at a point. And then Claydol, just pretty, not the best spinner. And I don't think Spiritomb is, I think as like a dark type, I'd rather use Guzzlord because Guzzlord has no switch-ins, right? Spiritomb can quote-unquote trap, but like even then, Sneasel outclassed it as a pursuit trapper, and Guzzlord outclasses it as a special attacker unless it's Calm Mind. And even then, like Specs Guzzlord hits substantially harder than like even +2 Spiritomb at that point. So Spiritomb needs a few boosts to even be harder than Guzzlord. So those drops, all there. I'm sure PU will enjoy some nice Hail plus Sandslash, assuming it's allowed down there. But let's talk about the rises. So Rotom rose from U to OU. This is pretty big for the UU tier. It's a pretty big change. Losing one of the best answers to Gliscor, also a Pokemon that takes on, can switch into Swampert really well, can pseudo check Scizors, can also check Mega Aerodactyl, can check Pidgeot. Really big change for the UU tier. I'm actually really surprised when it's OU, and I'm going to tell you why. It's a really bad defogger in the OU tier. Rotom has always been a solid Pokemon, right? Rotom has always been a solid Pokemon, was always really good in OU, up until the generation where we got Z-moves. This Pokemon cannot defog on anything. This Pokemon cannot beat anything in the tier. Landorus beats it down with its Z-move. Defensive Landorus just U-turns it out of there. Toxapex doesn't care about Volt Switch. Toxapex doesn't care about Will-O-Wisp. Toxapex Toxics you. Sunsteel and Leech Seeds. Even Pokemon like Coco plus Hawlucha break through Rotom Wash pretty well. It has to run Spadef to even be able to pseudo check Greninja, and like Ipapa Berry at that. Like, it doesn't even check Specs Ashgren. I mean, like, I'm saying that like that's like a bad thing, right? But it's a pretty poor defogger. I mean, immunity to hazards is pretty cool, but I think that Rotom really rose up just because of the new toy syndrome that it got defogged. I don't even see Rotom in OU when I play, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even see Rotom when I play. I saw Janvad use it the other day, and that was like the first time I've seen Rotom in so long. Maybe like one other on the ladder. It was super good in UU. I think it was a great staple in UU, a great defogger in UU. In OU, I'm pretty sure it's gonna fall right back down. Pretty sure it's going to fall right back down during the next drops because, again, not a good defogger in the tier. Will-O-Wisp being crippled, the fact that it doesn't do 12%, it does 6%, really bad for it. Has that 4 move slot syndrome where it wants to run Plain Spit, Defog, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump, and like Plain Spit, Defog, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump. What am I missing? Volt Switch. Yeah, Volt Switch. And even a hidden power of sorts. Doesn't break through anything. AV Bulu and Kartana are literally running rampant, and Zapdos doesn't care about Rotom's Will-O-Wisp at all. In fact, Zapdos rather be Will-O-Wisp. That way it can't be toxic by Toxapex. So, not quite sure why it rose up, and I don't see it staying in the tier. Lucario went from BL to UU. I think this is pretty cool as well because, again, Aurora Veil being in the tier, make that Mon rise. Not quite sure why it rose up, but SD variants, they're solid. Como rose from Aria to UU. As a Dragon Dancer, I think under Aurora Veil as well, Como was super, super good. Before the Z-move got banned, I think that's a big thing that had to do with his usage. Before the Z-move got banned from RU, the Z-move was allowed in UU for a little bit, so that had a ton of usage in the tier, so that definitely rose it up. It's really solid on Aurora Veil. It doesn't even need Z-move to be solid. It's just super bulky, so like a Belly Drum set, a Totemize set, a Dragon Dance set, super, super solid, so I think it deserves its place in the UU tier, at least for right now anyway. And now that it has a better Aurora Veil setter than the Auroras plus Sandslash, like I don't have to run 2 slots to get up my Veil. I could just run Alolan Ninetales and get up my Veil. Como will be better. Now, Seismitoad rose from NU to UU. I'll be honest with this, okay? And I talked with my boy, Star. I talked with a bunch of UU people as well. And from my own experience in UU, why the hell is Seismitoad UU? I know Seismitoad is used, okay? It's a ground type that Stealth Rocks. You know what else is a ground type that Stealth Rocks? Swampert. Yes, this thing does have Water Absorb. I was talking with Star and he was like, well, maybe it checks Pokemon like Azu, but it really doesn't. What does it do? Does it Skull Burn Azu? Does it Toxic Azu? Is that it? It doesn't even check Gliscor. As long as Spidef Gliscor has its Toxic, it can beat Seismitoad 1v1. Seismitoad literally cannot beat it. I know some Refresh variants are running around as well, but I really, like as a rocker, the only thing it has, it doesn't even check Rotom. Like once it's Will-O-Wisp, Seismitoad doesn't care. I think that was a big thing though, being able to block Volt Switch, but also being able to block Hydro Pump from Rotom and then knock it off as well. But even then, like Rotom runs Pain Split, Volt Switch, so obviously you can't Volt Switch on Seismitoad, but I think the Rotom Ray drop made Seismitoad rise, but I don't think it's a great water type in the tier. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and this is from my experience, and I've used it to success. But even from my experience, I don't like. It doesn't beat Azu. It checks Rotom, but even then it gets burnt. It can run Refresh, but even then, still, it does check Aerodactyl, but so does Swampert. And again, with Rotom rising up, I don't know how much we see Seismitoad, but that NU to UU jump is big. You know what else we're hoping to jump from NU to UU? My boy Amapom, okay, with the quick rises next, but we'll see. We'll see. Necrozma rose from BL3 to RU. The new Z moves, the new toy, not the Z move, but the fact that Necrozma got a whole bunch of different movesets now. I think it's actually a pretty solid RU Pokemon. And if Sneasel gets banned, ooh, even better. Faster than Emboar, which is a pretty big thing. Rabami rose from BL3 to RU. This means it was these guys, you know, is banned from NU, by the way, just so you guys know. These BL3 means it's banned from NU. It's the borderline tier for NU, so or the ban list rather. But Rabambi rose, has Sticky Web now. Decent Sticky Web setter, can actually break through Pokemon like Xatu with Quiver Dance plus Moonblast. Mega again. The fact that Specs Mega still has no switch-ins. I mean, in previous generation, Mega was banned from RU. We'll see about that. We'll say that happens. Rotom rose from NU to RU. It's a really, really good defogger that defogs on the grass types like Chestnut. Actually threatens Pokemon like Xatu with Volt Switch, with Thunderbolt. Has Bloom Doom to pressure and to be able to defog on pretty much every rocker, right? That was the big thing about Rotom. It can defog on every rocker. Steelix, Chestnut, can burn them as well. It doesn't care about licks. That was why I was in the NU tier. Anyway, it was a great Pokemon NU. But, yep. With RU, Rose up. The fact that it got defog, get utility, doesn't care about spikes, which is a big thing. Frees up that moveset on Zatu as well. Like, I run defog on Zatu, but you don't have to. So Rotom frees up that moveset. Pretty solid. And a good speed tier as well at that. And also can pseudo check the grass types. Like, can take Giga Drains from Whimsicott. Doesn't appreciate Specs Moonblast, though. That will 2-hit KO Rotom. But even then, it's just a great defogger. And a decent Scarfer as well. So Kling Klang is an NU now, and so is Metacham. Kling Klang is broken in NU. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I think Kling Klang is broken in NU. Not going to lie. Even with Steelix down there, that's like the only thing that checks it, especially because Seismitoad is now up. So if you don't have Seismitoad or Steelix, I feel like Kling Klang is really broken. Even defensive Togedemaru, like the best thing you can do is Nuzzle, which is still really solid. But I really do think this mon is legitimately busted in the NU tier. And the fact that Seismitoad rose up, what's left for it down there? Quillfish can't intimidate it because of its ability. And it's pretty much just Steelix. Wow. And just the fact that it can run Course 2 Crash, actually break through stuff. This mon is so good in the NU tier. I don't think it's broken. I know I said broken, but it's just super solid in the NU tier. I realize why. It just sets up on a lot. It sets up on a lot of defensive cores. Can set up on Pokemon like Vileplume as well. Doesn't get the drops as well from Strength Sap. Can break through Pokemon like Kling Klang. Can break through Pokemon like Zatu. Quillfish. Even Registeel to an extent. It doesn't care about Registeel because, I mean, obviously not in NU. But I'm talking about also in the RU tier. Like, I think it's pretty solid in RU as well. But really easy to set up and really hard to like not put yourself in a situation where it sets it up. Even if you use like Banded, Sneasel, right? You revenge kill a Delphox, maybe with Pursuit or Knockoff, but then Kling can come in and takes the Knockoff, sets up on you. It sets up on Whimsicott as well, which is a pretty big thing. Setting up on Ice types as well. Like, but it looks like it doesn't come in on them and sets up, but it gets a free setup if they're both in at the same time. Metacham rose up to NU. Tough to switch into. I know Gigavolt Havoc Metacham rose up a little bit in usage because it breaks through Zatu as well. Zatu Steelix cores it can break through. Also deals with Type Null. Can also deal with Vileplume. So I'll compare it to Emboar as a wall breaker, but I think Emboar does it better, especially because Emboar has priority Sucker Punch. Though Metacham does have priority Bullet Punch, which doesn't help it as much in the tier. But as a wall breaker, really solid. Quillfish moved up from P to NU. A spiker that can actually spike on Emboar I think is pretty important. Like otherwise, but yeah, Feral Seed down there, gonna get burned down. Maybe even Pokemon like Crusto can be ran. But yeah, it's Intimidate helps it set up on actually Pokemon like Emboar, which I think is again the biggest thing. Like it's a spiker that can actually set up on Emboar. So it's a great spiker, absorbs T-Spikes as well. Another spiker that can set up on Emboar is obviously Garbodor, but Garbodor doesn't have that Intimidate factor in. So yeah, solid spiker. Zalta still checks it, but Quillfish plus Sneasel is pretty much usually enough to deal with Zalta core. Now, Savali Steel rose up from P to NU. Just Savali Steel, which is really interesting. Like, this variation actually rose up, so that's really interesting. I guess because it's Steel type, it's immune to poison. It actually functions as a defogger, a really fast defogger. Has options of Parting Shot. So I think those are like the big reasons why it rose up. I couldn't tell you much else. Like, this is all speculation and from what I've seen as well. So, yeah, some really interesting rises. I don't think the UU to OU Rotom will stay there for a while or like that long at all. Seismitoad, I think with Rotom going up, Seismitoad might actually even drop down. Man, let's just go through the UU tier list real quick and talk about like. Alright, my bad. Let's look at the UU tier. Toxic sets up on it. Giga Drains, Will-O-Wisps. Like I don't. I guess it also checks Cobalion, but even then, like all out pummeling Cobalion at +2 knocks it out. Doesn't check Infernape, man. Take close combat, checks Storm variants. Maddenton, I don't know. Like if I'm using a Pokemon, I'd rather use Swampert. Having access to Roar, I think, is a big thing as well, because stopping setup is pretty big. But yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts. Leave them down below. Some really big tier changes though for the UU tier. Especially, we got a Roarville down there now. Let me know. Some nice drastic changes. See you guys again. Goodbye, friends.